Hey, I'm Grant from Hōu Canoes, and today we're going to look at how to put skid plates on your canoe.
When you open your box, you'll find the instruction sheet along with the felt material that will become our skid plates. We've got some sandpaper and masking tape to prepare the area before we apply those skid plates. Inside these mixing tubs here, we also have our protective gloves and some stirring sticks, which we'll use to mix the hardener and the resin, which will give those skid plates the protective quality that they need. We've got the brush for applying those things, some Peel Easy and a squeegee to give you the professional finish. You might also find it handy just to have a rag just to wipe down the area in between tasks. So, time to prepare our boat for taking the skid plate. First thing we're going to do is we're just going to take our ruler here and we're just going to measure from the bottom of the deck plate about 30 centimetres up the boat, as that's where our skid plate is going to start. And I'm just going to mark that with my marker pen. I'm going to take my felt then, and I'm going to position this on the hull of the boat, making sure that the centre of the skid plate is running down the centre line of our canoe. Once I'm happy with that positioning, I'm just going to take a couple of small pieces of our tape just to hold the skid plate in place. Before we mark the position of the skid plate with our masking tape. When I'm putting this masking tape on the boat, I want to leave a 3-4 millimetre gap between my masking tape and my skid plate, just so we've got some overlap, so when we come to put the resin on, we've got a nice abrasive surface. Perfect. Once we've got our masking tape on, we're going to remove the felt. And we're just going to rub down the area just to remove any dust or dirt off of the hull of the boat before we sand it. So we're going to sand down our boat now, and we need to be really careful here not to go through this outer layer all the way through to this pale layer on the inside. So when we use our sandpaper, we just want to rub down the boat, ensuring that we roughen all the area that we're going to later apply our skid plate to. But as I say, making sure that we don't go all the way through the outer layer, but giving it a good keyed surface. Once we've wiped down this area, let's not touch it again with our greasy fingers. What we can do next then is we can use our tape and maybe an old bin bag to tape down the sides of the boat to ensure that we're not going to have lots of resin run down the boat if we're particularly precious about our boat. More importantly though, if we've sanded over the edges of the masking tape and disrupted the edge, we want to reapply some more tape there. But this boat's looking okay, so we'll move on to our next step, which will be putting down our felt. So we've mixed our hardener and resin together. We're just going to take our brush just now and we're just going to apply a layer of mixture to the area where our skid plate is going to be. Ensuring that as we do this, we get right into the edges of our masking tape. The aim of the game here isn't to use all the resin, but just to get an initial layer on the boat so that our felt will stick to the boat in a minute when we come to lay it. So now we have that layer on the boat, we can come to the front of the boat again, find our mark from earlier and lay our fabric onto the boat. Ensure that our positioning of our fabric is exactly where we want it, with the centre line of the fabric running down the boat. Give that a good press down to ensure it's all in place. If it's not quite sticking, we can just use a little bit more resin underneath. Ensure it's sticking. Great. We're now going to, once we're happy with our positioning of our felt, we're going to take our brush and our mixture, we're going to dab it in to our material to wetten the material and ensure that our resin and hardener mix has gone all the way through. You use a dabbing motion throughout to ensure it penetrates the felt really well. Great, so once we've wetted all the material, we just need to make sure we go down the edges, making sure that these edges are stuck tight on the boat. Now, different curvatures of the boat, that might mean for some folks it's a super easy job and you just pat it down and it sticks really well. If you've got really harsh edges on your boat, that might mean that you have to spend a lot of time shaping and forming the felt with your fingers to make sure that it sticks. But once we've got it all on, all smoothed out, all the edges are done, there's no big air bubbles appearing, we can leave that for 10 to 15 minutes to let that start to soak in. Great, so 15 minutes have passed. We're just going to start removing our masking tape, and if we had put down any bin bags or bits of plastic to keep the job site tidy, we would remove them now as well. Great, once we've removed all of the tape and plastic, we're going to take our peel ply, lie that over the boat, and we're going to take our squeegee and we're just going to apply some pressure from the middle and work our way to the outside edge. And because we're going to be leaving this peel ply on the boat for 24 hours whilst the boat the hardener and resin cures, if it's windy, where you are like it is here, just stick some bits of tape on just to stop things flapping around. There we go. Next task, brew. So we've left the boat overnight for the resin to cure, and we're just going to start removing this peel ply from the boat now. So we're going to start by taking off the masking tape from all around the boat. Of course, if there had been rain on the forecast, we would have covered the boat up with a tarpaulin or moved it inside if we were fortunate enough to have a big enough space to store the boat, but we didn't here, and the forecast was good, so we just left the boat on the stands overnight. So once we've removed all of this masking tape, we're just going to pull that peel ply off of the boat. Now the best thing to do is to start in the middle of the boat and work our way out to the ends. It
just tends to come off easier that way. It is a little bit stiff, obviously it's been attached to the resin which is hardened overnight, so we do need to put a little bit of force in, but don't worry too much. If the resin's done its job properly, which it will have done, the peel ply will come away smoothly with a little bit of effort. Great, once we've got that peel ply off, that can go to be disposed of, and we're just going to grab a Stanley blade. There's a couple of little lumps of resin that have run off during the process, and we're just going to trim those off with a nice sharp Stanley blade. If there had been lots of resin, which there shouldn't have been, but if there was, we could have got a sheet of abrasive paper, a piece of sandpaper, super fine grit, and just run over that first and then finished it off with the Stanley blade to get a nice, smooth, clean finish. There we go. There we have it. Some skid plates fitted to your canoe. If you want to order your own Hōu Canoes skid plate kit, you can order them at houcanoes.com along with some of our other accessories. And if you're struggling still, drop us an email to info@houcanoes.com. Cheers!